So this little project we're going to start today has been debatable for the last little while. We have these galvanized raised beds that we bought at Home Depot. They were on sale. And we have an old herb bed and some rhubarb there and some dill and things like that. So I think the plan is eventually to get rid of those cinder block bricks and transplant some things and get some more of these raised beds. I had considered putting them over here, kind of beside the strawberries at the start of the garden, but the foreman, garden boss I should say, would rather have them here. So this is what we're going to do. So the plan is to put down some weed paper or cloth, eventually get some wood chips and mulch the path. But today I'm just using an old fish filleting knife. I'm going to cut out the grass inside and with a square edge shovel just kind of level them and get them set into place so we can start filling it with some compost and things to get ready to move some of this stuff for the fall. I think we'll maybe try some asparagus, probably put our garlic here as well. So it's just so weedy along the edge of that little hill right there. It drops down, you can't really see it well from this angle, but this is a few years old, this bed, and we just kind of have it so close to this natural edge of weeds. It's just crazy with weeds. It's too much work to whippersnip and keep knocked back. So the raised beds will at least keep the weeds off them, and it'll give me a edge to whippersnip against. But some of this stuff turned out okay, growing in the cinder blocks. Chives, lavender, and other things like that. So we'll see how it goes. So we finished step one, I guess you'd call it. We just cut out the sod, as you can see, leveled off as best we could by eyeball. We didn't get too technical. And we have this weed cloth. It's a paper that allows water and stuff through, but it won't let weeds come up through it. So we've had this. We didn't use it in the garden like we expected, so we thought we would just try it here. So the plan now is to go and get some mulch, some wood chips or whatever, to kind of fill in the sides and in between here, around the edges. And then eventually that will also be all wood chips. And then when we move this in the fall, we'll have a couple more of these hopefully to put there. And they'll have a little path. This spot in the garden does get more sun earlier in the day because of this tree line, right? So if I put it too far back this way, they're in the shade until about 10 o'clock. So anyway, we're going to go try to find some mulch and some compost. I'll show you what it looks like when we get this next part finished. So we just finished up with applying some cedar mulch. It's just the brown cedar mulch. We used 7 bags around the outside of the galvanized raised beds, and I went ahead and put in a layer on the bottom of non-composted straw and duck poop from the duck pen. So that'll be the first layer. That'll break down over time, and now we're going to add some compost that's about a year old from our compost bin that's broken down as another layer, and then the top layer will be like a nice fine finished compost with some potting soil. I don't know when we're going to plant it, but we just kind of wanted to have it done. So we piled it fairly high. Some of this will compact down with rain and just walking on it. So then eventually the plan is to have 2 more of those bins, raised beds here with everything that you see in them. The rhubarb will stay where it is. May eventually have a 3rd one here, and then we're gonna get wood chips and more mulch over time when I can afford a new tractor and afford a wood chipper. But those are things that are probably a year away unless somebody sees my channel and has a lot of money and want to donate some. But anyway, there you go. I'll show you the result once we get some of the other compost on there. So there you go, job done. It's looking not too bad. The only thing missing are vegetables. That was a little project for the morning. It's about lunchtime, and not too bad for a couple hours worth of work. $50 worth of mulch. I'd like to buy it in bulk, but it's too much of a mess to handle in my truck and then to haul it from my truck to here, because I can't drive to the garden. I need to move it from the truck bed to the tractor. It's a lot of work, so sometimes it's easier to buy the bagged stuff. But anyway, so we got the aged compost on top. You can see some cardboard there from last year, eggs, mussel shells, quail eggs, duck egg shells. We throw everything in our compost, and it just turned gray. I can hear some thunder in the distance, and it's about to rain. So much for the afternoon. We were hoping to go to the beach, but I'll do a quick breeze through. Tomatoes are looking okay. Flowers are really starting to come up. I think this was a great idea for this front row this year, to bust up the sod, keep some flowers in it, try to weed it. I have a few more banana peppers, and I had some liquid poop in my wagon that was filled with rain and all the straw, so I just kind of dumped it on the corn on the ground, and that'll feed that the rest of this year and into next year. All right, I'm gonna get inside and have some lunch.